Hello everyone, and I hope you're having a very good Christmas so far. Well, it seems like Chillie has finally painted his well, looks like a horse stable or some sort of a hollow office. It says it's going to be his new studio. Now, Chillie, who is used to a life of running like fuck away from his past and away from everything, basically anybody who's got a grievance with him has got that he's ripped off or grifted with. Now he's got a place where he can be served. He now has a place where people can find him. So me, on a personal level, think for Chillie's own sake, that was one big mistake. Whether or not this turns out to be an actual studio, we've yet to see. Anyway, he said it took him 3 or 4 days to do, but I've seen the actual video, the time-lapse video that he did, and he did it within an afternoon. So he's talking bollocks just to paint it. It took him a very, very long time to knock down a plasterboard wall. So obviously I think he hasn't been eating his Weetabix. Anyway, without further ado, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get on with it.
Yo, what's going on with the Playboys? What's going on out there in the land of YouTube? What's going on, YouTubies? I'm YouTubing right now, I guess you would say. I can't really see very well right now, so I'm just gonna check in here for a few minutes, but I wanted to talk about something that has been pressing on my mind for so long. Good to see everybody. I'm sorry I haven't been live a lot lately. As you guys know, I told you I was gonna be extraordinarily busy starting this next thing, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So, let me see if I can, how's everybody doing today? What's going on, huh? What's going on? Good to see everybody. What is going on? Rocco, good to see you. Golden State fan, how are you, buddy? How is everybody doing today? So I'm in the studio here, and as you guys can see, I painted this entire place black. There's not a lot of light in here right now because I'm not sure if I told you guys this or not, but all my lighting was stolen last week. I don't think I've made that announcement, but that did happen, and it was real.
I call bollocks, Chillie, right? Because if anything happens in your life, you're straight away going to report it, especially if you can have your lights stolen. Where was it stolen from this time, Chillie? Are you trying to give, trying to hint for, I need some more money. Please, sir, can I have some more? So I had to replace the lights, and this light I have right here is actually a little bit broken. Good to see everybody. How is everybody doing today? How is everybody doing today? Oh. So I wanted to talk a little bit. There we go. There we go. And this is a new stand. So everything I have here is what is going on. Chevy, how are you guys? How is everybody? So Jeff hates pigs. Jeff hates pigs is in the room. Jeff hates pigs. What's up, Jeff hates pigs? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. I'm glad you're back. Cope Dog is in the house. Let me make sure everything's okay. Hold on. Helps things out a little bit. I hope that helps things out a little bit. Is that a little bit better? Can you guys hear me a little bit better now? So, all right. So I'm going to get right into this because we only have so many minutes until Wapner. Can I get an OTVO? Can you put Overturn Terry versus Ohio? Can you just drop that in the comment section real quick? And then everybody hit the like button. Hit the like button if you would. Everybody hit the like button if you would, please. I'd appreciate that. And then I'm gonna turn off the comments here for a little while. Delete Lawz clips. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see Delete Lawz clips. There you go. That way you can't get timed out. I appreciate all the hard work Delete Lawz clips is doing. Delete Lawz clips is doing a good job. Delete Lawz clips, now you can drop some links in there if you want to.
Good job, dude. Okay, so how's the sound? Is the sound okay? Give me a 5x5 if you guys can hear the sound okay. Let me know, and then I'm gonna just start to kind of talk out loud here for a little while. And we are 18 minutes until Wapner. 18 minutes until Wapner. So, you know, as you guys know, I started off OTVO. OTVO. I'm gonna turn the sound. There we go. Now I can just sit here and talk with you guys out loud a little bit here.
For anybody who's curious about what Chillie's going on about, 18 minutes to Wapner. No, it's not his male escort that's arriving. It's one of his stupid silhouetted interviews. Apparently he's an ex-cop who's blowing the lid off of police brutality. Now, Chillie, people in the comments, please let us know if you actually believe the shit he's spooling there. Personally, I think he's full of shit. He's paid a fucking actor again, or one of his friends, and then use various vocal programs to disguise his voice. Because Chillie, that's what you are. You're just a completely full of shit bloke. That's particularly what you are, mate. And wow, your studio's looking so hot right now.
So, as you guys know, in October of 2021, I left Los Angeles with the intention of traveling the country and helping people who have become victims of police brutality. And what we're seeing over the past year from October of 2021 until today, which is December of 2022, I've been on the road traveling, interviewing family, people who are victims of police brutality, and I've been doing this now for over a year. And so, you know, I got to sift through my things sometimes to find audits, because I do so many audits that I don't even post them all. Sometimes they're just not that entertaining, but I do understand that it's still a bit of a business. So I found an audit that I did a short time ago, and check it. Still got the blue sweatshirt, so it looks pretty good. So now people ask me all the time. They say, you know, do you feel like it's getting worse? Do you feel like things are getting worse? Do you feel like, you know, as you've been traveling the country and you've gone from Maine to Florida to California to Oregon, actually I haven't gone up to the Northwest yet, but so do I feel like things are getting worse, and why are things getting worse? And so that's the paradigm that we're living in. We have two diametrically opposed ideas, and later tonight I'm actually going to lay out Constitutional Law Scholar. Even though I'm not going to be staying in this particular studio, I'm still going to lay out Constitutional Law Scholar later tonight and give you guys a little taste of what I mean when I say Constitutional Law Scholar. So there's two diametrically opposed ideas here. And one of the ideas is law enforcers, and the other idea is rights protectors. And these two ideas, they cannot exist together in the same plane.
Chillie's been given a dictionary for Christmas. He's learned some biggie words, more than 4 letters long. For fuck's sake. Right, yeah, of course, law enforcement and rights and freedoms can work together pretty well, and they have done pretty well for decades. It's just certain people like you travelling up and down the country interviewing. No, that's the wrong word in the dictionary, Chillie. It's grifting. Scamming would be another word. Families up and down the country to procure funds for yourself so you can have little lounging fucking holidays in Colombia. Where's that money, Chillie? Funny, you've not actually addressed that fact yet. Where's the money that you raised for the solicitors? And what's happened to all these people that you're suing? Oh dear, we don't stop. Ooh, except every single thing that you start, you stop.
They cannot exist together in the same space. If you put law enforcers and rights protectors in the same room, there would be an explosion. It's because they don't work together. The philosophy, the fundamental mentality of law enforcing versus rights protectors, they're diametrically opposed. They're not even the same color, they're not the same size, they're not the same shape, they don't feel the same, they don't look the same, they don't taste the same.
Chillie, go taste a fucking window. What do you think it is? They're concepts, not a bowl of fucking fruit.
They don't taste the same. So you have these two diametrically opposed ideas. And let me make sure, everybody hit the like button if you would, please. Let me just make sure that this thing is running all the time. I'll turn this volume way down so I can just take a look. And then I'm gonna go here and I'm just gonna make sure that we are 15 minutes until Wapner, 15 minutes until Wapner. So I just wanna make sure that this channel is still running. There it is. Are we frozen? We are not frozen. Okay, everybody hit the like button. So now we have two diametrically opposed ideas, and the reason why people keep asking the same question, is it getting worse, is because the answer is yes, it's getting worse. And why is it getting worse? Well, because we still have this idea of law enforcement that we created for black folks, that we would enforce laws upon black folks. Now, I'm sorry for my white boomers who don't like it and for my poor white folks who are being arrested using the laws we created for black folks, but the idea of law enforcers goes back to the South Carolina slave catchers in 1794.
I'm sorry, Chillie, what was that? 17 something in Philadelphia? What, Chillie, what was that? No, mate, it wasn't. I think the first stationary sort of police force and police officers were situated in Edinburgh in 1611, and they were tasked to patrol the streets of Edinburgh and prevent crime and obviously arrest people. The thing is, Chillie, the ones that you're on about that were tasked to bring back slaves and stuff, if you want to go talk about modern day policing, that wasn't anything like it. They weren't even stationary. They were tasked to really bring back slaves to their owners and stop slave uprising. As far as I'm aware, anyway.
So you're going 1704. You're going all the way back to the beginning of what law enforcers mean, and that would mean that we have to chase you down and you have to be a slave. And you know, there's a few books. There's a couple of books I'm starting to read right now. Let me get a little further into them before I start announcing what they are. But there's two ideas here: law enforcement and rights protectors. And as long as we have law enforcers in the United States of America, you will never be free. Because when they run out of races and poor people, and they're coming for you next. You're next. So there's always going to be, as long as there's someone to enforce a law enforcers, we're never going to be free in the United States of America. It'll never happen. Because you're going to have someone who posts up somewhere and they look and they say, who saw the movie The Big Lebowski? Write it in the chat real quick. If you saw The Big Lebowski, just write it down in the chat. I've seen The Big Lebowski. Hit the number 1 if you've seen The Big Lebowski. Has anybody seen it? It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it was made in the mid-90s or so, but it's one of my favorite movies. I absolutely love it. So there's a line in the movie where they're bowling and the guy they're bowling with says, "Over the line." Does everybody remember this? "Over the line, mark it 0. And so when you have someone who's going to sit there and stare at the line and going to be a law enforcer, then you're never going to be
this is so painful on Christmas Eve. More and more I hear this man talk. This boy, dwarf, Oompa Loompa, Peck talk. The more I realise he hasn't got a clue about any subject on this planet. He's either constantly hoovering up shit with his nose. Not one thing he said then. He starts off and then swerves off to the Big Lebowski just to get a line. Going off the line. If we didn't have police in any country, any sort of law enforcement, there would be sheer anarchy. Anybody, and I mean anybody, could do what they want at any time without consequence. And it's as simple as when you're getting brought up, your parents smack your ass when you're being bad, buy you a PlayStation or a Nintendo when you're being good. It's the reward and punishment way of doing things, and it's worked for centuries. And now Chile wants to get rid of it and have some sort of lawless society where he thinks anybody and everybody can wear these 360 cameras, and that, you know, we can transmit the bandwidth to two places, and we can walk around looking like fucking Cybermen or a rejected Cylon, and then everything's going to be hunky-dory. Just because Chile has had a bad experience in the past with a policeman and a baton doesn't mean that every policeman's bad or that the whole system is corrupt. Some of it, yeah, there are some coppers which are nasty, but yeah, again, there's loads and loads that are nice. I mean, whatever next? Santa gonna deliver you a block of coal this year, Chile, and what then are you gonna do? Have a rampage against Santa Claus? You poor pathetic excuse for a peck.
Because you may drift over the line a little bit. It's a perfect paradigm if you actually just watch that one clip in the beginning of The Big Lebowski where he says, "Over the line, dude, mark it 0. And then what happens is, as soon as one person has the authority to tell the other person what to do, and we saw that with the mandates with the bird flu in 2020, as soon as one person has the authority and the power is vested in them to cry out that you have fudged, you have smeared, you have broken the line, you've broken the law. There's going to be a whole bunch of people who back that person up and say, hey, he's right, this law enforcer over here, over the line, Smokey, mark it 0. Right? That's the Big Lebowski. And so if we have that in our country, how many people go to a 4-way stop sign at 2 o'clock in the morning? You can see that there's no cars coming from headlights. Look left, look right, and then you drive across the line. There it is. There's someone hiding there waiting to get you. And there's a large group of people that say, well, this is the law. This is what the law says. And so for that reason, the law enforcer is needed to get you for driving through that stop sign at 2 o'clock in the morning when nobody was around. As long as we continue to perpetuate the concept of law enforcers, it's going to get worse, and it's going to get worse, and it's going to get worse, and it's not going to get better. It's going to continue to devolve. It'll just get worse. It'll happen to your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your best friend, your lover. It'll happen to you. It'll happen to your family. Because as soon as you have a law enforcer on the scene and then you don't comply, well, then the next phase is you being hurt, you being beaten, you being taken down to the ground, you being stuffed into the ground. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. We just saw that with Dalvin Gadsden. Dalvin Gadsden was a homeless veteran sleeping in his car, and he was driving DoorDash and driving people around for money, and then he didn't comply with law enforcement, who said that they wanted to give him a DUI for no reason. How many people think there's DUIs going on in our country for no reason left and right?
You see, Chile's now oozing desperation. He's just tried the racist card by saying that police officers were invented to basically kill slaves. Then he tries the family approach of, it's going to happen to you, you're going to get beaten, you're going to get your rights taken away, this, that and the other. All he's doing is fear-mongering because the poor little boy is not getting attention, so he's stamping and huffing and puffing as loud as he can. Poor little Chillie Decastro. I mean, what's wrong, Chillie? Did you get rejected from the cast of Willow for being too fucking small? Oh, for fuck's sake, man. I mean, how he gets away with saying this sort of shite, I will never, ever, ever fathom.
Put a 1 in the chat if there's DUIs going on in the country for no good reason. How far are we till Wapner? Let me turn the chat on for 1 second. I can see you guys. There you are, Joe Cool. What's going on, brother? I can see you. How you doing? So we are 11 minutes till Wapner. We are 11 minutes till Wapner. So let me ask you a question. Put a 1 in the chat right now. Thank you. I appreciate that. So as long as we continue to hold this concept that we can have law enforcers in our country, you're not going to be free. It's not going to get you right now. Oh, you're going to get away with this because they're just taking on the poor white people right now, the poor factory workers, the poor blacks, the poor immigrants. And you know, the number one killed race in America is Latinos. It is not blacks. Latinos, me right here, Latinos are the number one killed race in America by police.
Our survey said...
Like I said, everything that comes out of this fucking boy's mouth is complete shite. I've just had a look on statista.com, and apparently Hispanic are the least killed this year by police officers. I think it was 51 in the United States in 2022. They're actually killed by police officers. And whites have been the majority for the last 5 years, up to 2020. And this year it is, the highest rate is by unknowns. So that could be any mixed race. So Chillie, do yourself a favour, actually do some research first. If I'm wrong, then so be it. But you just state everything as complete and utter fact all the time. That's what's going to be your undoing.
You know, there's 1 million touches a year. We don't want 1 million touches a year or 200 million touches. They call it touches. Law enforcers with citizens who are free, touches. So the law enforcement, when they say touches, remember what that means in the law enforcement capacity. That means that they're touching you to see if maybe you've broken a law so they could take you to a dungeon. And I'm not kidding, I'm not joking at all. Their entire goal is to arrest you, to take your car, to charge you with money, to gain money for the state. They're law enforcers, but you might as well call them revenue collectors. Now, in the polar opposite, in the opposite direction, completely different than law enforcers, is rights protectors. Now imagine, go back to that example I gave with the Big Lebowski. The Big Lebowski, he steps over the line, he says, "Over the line, dude, mark it 0. And this is a very big deal in that movie because the whole fight starts over whether or not he was over the line. And Smokey is a conscientious objector, so that means he stood on the line before with cops screaming in his face and said, "You can arrest me if you want, but I'm not backing down." And that's where we need to get, where we say we don't want law enforcers in our country anymore. That's where you and I have to get, we want rights protectors. It has to be a fundamental shift in philosophy, in ideology, that the state will not use us as a piggy bank, that the state will not fine us and fee us and hide on the side of the road to give us fines and fees. The only reason you should see a rights protector instead of a law enforcer is because they are there to make sure that your rights are being upheld and defended. That's what they swore an oath to the Constitution. They swore an oath to be a peace officer, not to be a law enforcer. And that is the fundamental switch that has to happen in our country. And you, the individual, have to start to go to your city council meetings because whether we like it or not, there is a hierarchy. Now, you could be for anarchism, you can be for volunteerism, but that's not where we're living right now. We're living in a tyrannical police state, death state, living in a technocracy that's being ran by the highest elitists in the Silicon Valley. And those Silicon Valley representatives are being manicured, being edited by politicians who are telling them this person can have a free speech on Twitter and this person cannot. And so you have the continued law enforcers. As long as you and I continue to allow this the extension, this drive, this push, and today all across America, people are saying, law enforcement. They're across every car, law enforcers. You are not a law enforcer. You signed up to be a rights protector. That's what you signed up to do. And as long as we continue with this stupidity, it's going to get worse. I've dedicated the rest of my life to changing this. I don't give a damn how long it takes. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to quit. I painted this studio. I built this studio. I will release the video of me doing it. I'll show you guys. This took a few days and a lot of work. and the love and support of people who are in this room and not in this room, and people who have helped me along the way.
Oh yeah, right. You built that place? No, you didn't. It looks like you probably rented the shitest, smallest little space you could at the cheapest possible price. And you'll probably skip out on the rent even then. All you did was knock down a really thin plasterboard and wood separator, and then use a spray gun to spray the walls. You didn't even cover up the sockets. when spraying. I mean, after seeing that video that Mass Hole have put out of your trifold stop in 2015, where you were trying to nail things to a tree and you couldn't even nail a piece of paper to a tree. Oh, that was good. If I was you, I'd go check over Mass Hole. Katie's got a video over there showing his 2015 video of him getting arrested, basically, and pretending to knock on someone's door that apparently owed him 20 grand for his app that he didn't create. He got somebody else to create, paid them, and then he wanted his money back. Oh, Christ.
And I'll tell you what, we don't stop. Put it in the chat. We don't stop. We don't stop. We don't stop. We don't stop. Write it right there, right now. How many times can you put it? We don't stop. We don't stop. Because as long as we continue, you and me, we are now in charge. We are no longer the 10-year-old kids looking up and seeing what the adults are doing. And, you know, we now all have a voice. So let it be heard loud and clear. Let it be heard clearly, succinctly, across the mountaintops, from the west coast to the east coast, all the way from the south to the north, past Minnesota into Canada. Let everybody hear it. We no longer want law enforcers in our country.
Hi, lowly mortals. In addition to working for me, you may now praise me as your almighty.
Amen, sir.
As long as you and I respect, what do you hear in the videos all the time? What do you hear all the time? You have to understand is what they say. You have to understand. No. When they say you have to understand, no, I don't have to understand. I don't have to understand, and I don't understand. Not one single bit why we have law enforcers in the land of the home, land of the brave. Fuck, you know. It's just so, it gets me to the very edge of my consciousness when, you know, when we're talking about, you know, the lyrics and the words and the accent that we put on our country, how we are the freest land of the, I can't even get the song in my head right now because I'm so flustered with this idea that we continue with this stupidity.
So don't blow it. Don't do drugs. If you're doing it, stop it.
We are not land of the free, home of the brave. We are not. We are the land of law enforcers and officer safety first. That's what we are. Systematically, and it's across the country, and it's just getting worse. You're seeing it worse and worse because they have to have new bodies to put into the system. And one of the worst ones is DFYS, Division of Family Youth Services. They're stealing kids all over the country. So as long as we continue to perpetuate stupidity and law enforcement over rights protectors, we're never going to get there. You and I won't ever be free. Never. When I go to the gas station, I got to look at the cop in the parking lot and think to myself, he's trying to find a nitpicky reason to arrest me, to put my car in impound, to pull me over. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. 4 minutes till Wapner. Well, so accredited investor just said, if you're driving impaired, I want you prosecuted to the full extent of the law. How well is that working out, though? No, I mean, let's play it out. I know we only have 3 minutes left here, 3 minutes till Wapner, but how well is that working out, prosecuting people to the fullest extent of the law? How well is that working? It's not working out, is it? DUIs have never been worse. How well is it working if you get a call for a domestic disturbance, a domestic violence call, that you have to take one of them to jail? Is domestic violence the worst it's ever been? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Is DUIs the worst it's ever been? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So if they're the worst they've ever been, remember, I watched a video and I heard myself say it. You know, in 1980, they started MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and they made these videos of cops like blending into the wall, and then they would come out of the wall. You know, they were black with the brick, and then the cop would come out, and there would be a little caption under there and say, "Cops are cracking down. Cops are cracking down." Like we're supposed to be afraid of these law enforcers. How well's that worked out? Cops are cracking down. You know, but there's lots and lots of studies that say that if you appeal to someone's sensibility, if you put signs up that say, if you drink and drive, the likelihood of you killing someone is 1 in whatever. People respond to statistics and facts that they know and their brain can compute them. But cops are cracking down. I don't respond to authoritarianism. Yo, Butch, what's going on, man? I don't respond to cops are cracking down. I don't respond to that very well. As a matter of fact, as soon as I hear cops are cracking down, I give a double bird and I say, I don't give a damn what you think you're doing. You're not cracking down on me. I'm not listening to you. You're a not even a
Correct me if I'm wrong, Jose. But didn't you basically bow down to when that female copper basically said, you're under arrest, you're coming with me, and you were like, oh, I'm non-violent, I'm not going to protest, I'll go with you, blah, blah, blah. That's different. You didn't stick up fucking two fingers at them then, did you? Wonder why that is, Chillie. And there's several other videos of you getting arrested where you just go very, very, very peacefully and do as you're told. So don't give me that crap.
Work really hard. As long as we continue to be threatened. Jeff hates pigs. What's going on, brother? I missed you, man. I don't know what happened to you. Good to see you, man. So cops are cracking down and threatening us hasn't worked. And people will say, you know, you're in the home of the land of the free, home of the brave, right? Land of the free, home of the brave. Are you, though? You're more likely to be arrested here in America than you are in China. You're more likely to be arrested here in America than you are in Iran. You're more likely to be arrested here in America than you are India. And those countries have billions of people, except for Iran doesn't have billions. But China and India both have billions of people and not as many people in prison as us. How astounding is that? How absolutely incredible is that? That we have more people in prison, just sheer numbers, with our 314 million people in the United States of America versus Iran and China that both have billions of people. I'm sorry, China and India, they both have billions of people, and neither one of them have as many people in prison as we do. And China has locked up 1 million Muslims just for being Muslim, and we still have more people in prison here. I mean, 1 minute
well done, Chillie. Is a gold star. You got that one correct, but it's closely followed by China and then by Brazil. I think India's fourth. But yeah, Chillie's got one right. Whoop-de-doo. But everything else, Chillie has just been completely wrong. And he's tried racism, tried fear-mongering, that it's going to happen to your family. He's even tried being like a fundamental Christian, shouting to the people in his flock. By the way he tries to carry his voice and his mannerisms. He's trying everything to get attention. Oh, and by the way, I am doing a video on his hired actor. Tomorrow I won't be doing it because it's Christmas Day. And I will be stuffing myself full of food and Guinness.
1 minute till Wapner. I'll be back on later tonight. On this wall, I'm going to teach Constitutional Law Scholar. I'm going to give the first lesson tonight. I'm going to give the first lesson tonight on Constitutional Law Scholar. So let me close this right here and make sure that... let's go over and watch this live. You know, I have a ton of videos on my phone. I mean, I'm talking tons and tons and tons of videos on my phone. I have so many audits on my phone, I can't count them all. I've audited cops for so many years, for so long. I have audits on my phone from 5-10 years ago, when before it was even popular to audit cops. I was filming cops. I didn't want the pressure of having to be in front. And now here we are. Good to see you too, V. Boyer. How are you, Cope Dog? Let me read off a few names here real quick. I got my glasses on just real quick. KT, good to see you. That's so funny. Remember, moderators, remember, we don't talk about people here. We don't give them any light. Don't put their name in the comments. Don't talk about people here. We're moving on. And the week I spent off of YouTube was the best week I ever spent, because I realized we're moving on. We're going forward. We're not stopping. We're not looking back. I'm back on track. I'm back on mission. And I swear to God, I'm not going to stop until we change it. I give you my word. I give you my word as a man, as a human being, as a child of God, as a child of earth, as a child of the universe. I swear to you, I will never, ever stop until we get rid of the term law enforcement.
Well, Chillie, it looks like then you will never ever be stopping doing anything, because we're never going to get rid of the word law enforcement. Police are going to be around as long as society is around, I'm afraid. So I don't know why you try and do these grandiose things when you never ever finish them, and you always stop, and you're always full of shit. Thank you all for sticking around. I know this wasn't a particularly interesting video. There is the Walkner interview which I am going to go through, but I haven't had a lot of time recently with work and whatever else. It's been really, really busy coming up to the Christmas. And basically I've put a little thing now where on Beaver Zero, aka Brainy Beaver, on his cast, where Chillie says something weird about his mother. He travels up and down this road with his mother, friends, daughter. So his mother and his friends and his daughter travel up and down this road. Now, has Chillie got offspring? I hope not. Please, no. Or at least let her be away from him. Crying out loud. Anyway, I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, or Happy Holidays. Take care now. Remember, get a grip.
You could go stop that guy.
All right, this is tripping me out.
I can pound your car, but there's another camera coming up the road here. We're gonna give you a shot. You do it again, you can't drive 150. There's a social contract. My mom, my sister, my daughter, my best friend are on this road. The worst part about it is, when I started this off a year ago, I used to just
get eye bleach. Well, I'm not showing that much.
Subscribe.